WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. I must say that one of the real joys of aging is getting older and getting older with guys like my next guest. He was drafted here many, many moons ago, and as a teammate of Ray Lewis, I thought, I'm going to go get the other Tyler, Texas Rose, and bring Gary Baxter back to Baltimore. Always one of my fun interview subjects and topics because he gave me a harder time than I gave him. We welcome back Gary Baxter. What's going on with your life, Gary Baxter? How's things in Texas? Always bigger, right?
Always bigger and always better. How you doing, Nestor?
How are you? How's post-life football for you? What are you doing with yourself?
Oh, post-life for me, I'm doing a little sports science research in Tyler, Texas. Me and Earl Campbell, we're doing some things together, trying to, dive a little deeper into the sports science.
Tell me about that, because, I mean, as you played, I remember you were a guy that took your body impeccably and treated your body well. Your body was your temple, as I remember you, and playing in the league
right.
for 7 seasons. But, I guess the sports science, and we're all conditioned to watch ESPN and see different studies being done at this point. If you watch baseball, it's one big science project with analytics and whatnot. What's the Project Rose all about for you, Gare?
Project Rose is more on the health and wellness. We do some human kinetics research and some sleep research. And so we have a sleep program. We study human kinetics. And obviously we're into sports medicine because you got 2 former football players.
Earl Campbell. Do you know what a huge Earl Campbell fan I was? I met Earl Campbell once in my life in Dallas, Texas. He let me sit on his lap and take a selfie because, he's having trouble getting around these days. And how's he doing? Is he all right, Earl?
He is doing well. I tell you what, it's an honor to be able to know Earl Campbell as one of the great legends, one of the best that ever played the game. And then it's another honor for me to be able to say, I played with one of the best linebackers that ever played the game, Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I'm here to talk about I can talk about Earl Campbell all day, but you're here to talk about Ray. Give your best Ray Lewis story, because you got drafted and you could have gone anywhere in the league, but by the time you got drafted, Ray had already really built his star, right? Like it was on the backside of the Super Bowl, and he was Ray Lewis when you walked in the room, which was different than a way a lot of us met him, right?
All right. Well, of course, it was always extremely exciting knowing that, once I got drafted to the Baltimore Ravens, first thing you thought about is Ray Lewis. It's Ray Lewis, the defense. And, you get a chance to play with a guy that one day was going to be going to Canton and it was going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I knew one day I'll be having this interview here with Nestor because we're talking about Ray Lewis being in the Hall of Fame. So it was exciting. I mean, this guy he's well-deserving of this. I mean, a guy of his caliber could have came to work every day and said, you know what, I'm going to take the day off. But he didn't. Every day he practiced like he played and he went full speed. And so, he brings the best out of you. And that's exactly what he did. And, I mean, it's great to be able to see him get into the Hall of Fame. It's great to know that I work with a guy such as his caliber and his professionalism that he brought to the table. And, I mean, he played the game with passion and intent. And, he bought it out. So
when grandkids come to you and say to you, Grandpa Gary, tell me about that time you played with Ray Lewis, what would you tell them about Ray? He's one of the most studied guys here over 20 years. You feel like you've been in the huddle with him. Everybody's danced the dance. Everybody's seen the speeches and the cameras in the locker room and whatnot. It feels like a lot of it was on display, that there aren't a lot of secrets about what Ray Lewis did.
Well, I tell you what, he was a man of his words. And, Ray, when he told you he was going to do something and he was going to be there on the football field, he was there. I mean, and there was times when, one of my best stories, we played against the New England Patriots, against Tom Brady and Deion Branch. I'm one-on-one with Deion Branch, and we in a heavy base where it's only one cornerback and there's one receiver. And Ray Lewis doing the game, and it had been raining, and it's, the fields are kind of slippery and stuff. And during the game, Ray said, "Go press him," and with no help. And I'm like, man, you talking about Deion Branch, press him, and you got Tom Brady. And Ray Lewis said, I'll be there. And I'm sitting there saying, how are you going to be there? You in the box. And I got, so I'm out here on the island with Deion Branch, and, all of a sudden they took off. I pressed him, and Deion Branch took off. He ran a post on me, and I was going up for the interception, and I had Ray Lewis, and I'm like, who is 35 yards downfield with me? And I look up, and it's 52, and I'm like, oh, my word. This guy said he was going to be there. This guy is there. And I kind of looked at him like, how did you do that? And it's just those moments that you say, man, this is what makes this guy so special. I mean, and then when he got up and he said, I told you I got you, GB. I'm like, oh, man, it's like, yeah, you got me. He was there. So it's those stories right there that will live forever. And when you see a guy like him get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think the one thing for me, because I predate you, I mean, I was there the day he walked in, and the early part of his career, when the team wasn't very good, it was cold out, and Ted was coaching the team and whatnot, the amount of energy that he would bring to a practice on a Wednesday or Thursday or a Friday, and I was always taken by that all throughout his career. They talked about leadership, but there was never a day where any of you or anyone in the building said, yeah, Ray just went through the motions today. I mean, he didn't know how to do that, literally, right?
No, he would never, and that's my point. You would think a guy of his caliber would do that, and he wouldn't, and that's what made him special, because he came in every day ready to work. He was consistent with it, and he brought that consistent intensity day in and day out with him, and he made himself better as well as everyone else around him. And that's what people fed off of, and that's what made our defense what it is. I mean, it elevated a lot of guys' game, and we was talent. I mean, when you take that and when you take a talent team like the Ravens had, the defense, and then you have that kind of leadership, you get exactly what you have, a great defense and a guy going into the Hall of Fame.
Gary Baxter is our guest, and former Raven, former Cleveland Brown, but we don't bring that thing up too much. But they did pay you handsomely, and I'm happy for you. Anybody got some Cleveland money, God bless you. Project Rose is the way to find him at projectrose.science. He's doing a sports science project with Earl Campbell down there in his homeland of Tyler, Texas. You're going to watch Ray like everyone else. There's so many people that he's touched in that purple jersey. Everyone's going to have a Ray Lewis story, and I think for all of you, this will be that Saturday night where you all sit back and watch this, because I think the speech is sort of the last stand, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, and I think everyone is going to be paying attention, because everyone knows he's going to deliver a very powerful speech. Because if you know Ray Lewis, you know that's what he's going to do, right? So I'm anticipating, I'm looking forward to it. And if the Hall of Fame is more, they'll have him be the last one to make sure everybody stay in their seat until the last person speaks, which is him. I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. I will be there. I'm actually going to go support him and, and wish him well. And, it's a great opportunity. I see how hard he worked. He deserves it. I mean, it's just I'm very happy for him, and arguably one of the best linebackers that ever played the game.
You have any fun with the Baylor football program now that it turned good? I mean, I know back down in your era, Baylor's been one of those way up, way down kind of programs. At least you've had a little bit of fun the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, we had some glorious times, and then, there's not so glorious times, and so. You know what? I love my school. I love Baylor Bears, and I bleed green and gold is what we say all the time. So it's I'm going to do my best to try to give back and try to help them as much as possible to get the program going. We have that roller coaster ride, like you said, and it'd be great to have that consistency one day.
Project Rose Research Institute for Sports Science. It's Gary Baxter's project. You can find it at projectrose.science. Hey, when they bring the old-timers back to Baltimore, make sure you're looking me up when you come back to town at some point. It's always great to catch up with you. Sometimes I see you at the Super Bowl and whatnot, but I wanted to hear you talk about Ray Lewis. So I'm calling around all your former teammates, and we'll get some Ray stories going here between now and next week.
Very nice. Hey, Nestor, thanks for having me on. Always good to talk to you, buddy, and anytime you want to talk about Ray Lewis, got some great Ray Lewis stories for you. He's a great guy. I wish him all the best, and I know the fans are going to love. They're going to be accepting this award just like for him as well. So this is going to be fun.
You always made things more fun, Gary Baxter, whether you're wearing number 28 or number 24. Good to have you on. Gary Baxter, GB, as we call him. You can find him out at projectrose.science. Cool little project. Really neat website he's put together out there in Tyler, Texas about fitness and research and programs and frequently asked questions and sports medicine programs and sleep programs and sports science and health and wellness. So there you have it. projectrose.science, Gary Baxter. Ray Lewis is going in the Hall of Fame next Saturday. I still have a few seats left on my bus out to Cleveland and Canton. If you're interested, throw me an email, nasty@WNST.net. I will sneak you in. Also, you can be snuck into the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. Our morning newspaper ships directly to your email inbox. It's all brought to you by our friends at Planet Fitness at planetfitness.com, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life, guaranteed. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live, and when the Orioles deal their next player before the trading deadline, you'll get all of that on the WNST Tech Service. It's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. Dennis will be here on Thursday, driving you home from 3 until 5. It is the SSV on WNST. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST, Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.